Imagine instantly knowing if your next video would flop before you made it, and instead knowing exactly which topic, title, and script will actually get clicks before you even hit record. Well, that's a reality right now. AI can generate, score, and refine video ideas in minutes, and I'm using that daily. Today, I'm gonna walk you through my exact workflow to use AI to create and automate your entire YouTube workflow. From coming up with the right video ideas, figuring out the titles, to scripting out the full video. So you can cut the time spent on producing a video from the previous 20 hours per video to now 20 minutes a day. And finally, grow your channel faster. All right, let's dive in. All right, so before we dive into the specifics, I want to walk you through on our agenda today so you know what to expect. So we're going to cover three things today. First is I'm going to start by talking about how to use AI to find underserved video topics on YouTube. And then secondly, how to use AI to generate guaranteed to work video titles for the topics you have chosen from the first step. And then the third thing we're going to cover today is how to script out your entire video. So let's look at the first step, how to use AI to find underserved video topics on YouTube. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to walk you through on the what, why, and how, and then we're going to go to our select AI tool to actually show you my exact prompt and how do you execute this workflow. So what here? You want to find video topics on YouTube that is fast growing but underserved right now. Okay, so two things, fast growing and underserved. Why? Well, you want to do that because you don't want to be competing with the super established players on YouTube, the big creators, right? Because you're definitely going to lose. That's an uphill battle. So you don't want to be competing directly with established big creators. That's why you want to find an underserved niche, an underserved topic on YouTube to create your videos about. But you also want your channel to be able to grow fast. So you need to find a not only underserved niche, but also fast growing niche or fast growing topic so it can lead you search traffic. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use Grok for AI to help you streamline and automate this process. The reason I choose Grok is because that I find Grok to be a little bit better when you are using it for research related or sometimes more data heavy tasks as opposed to ChatGPT. We're going to take the 5 things you have to put and share in your prompt, and we're going to actually execute this on Grok to show you how it works. Okay, so now we're at Grok. So let's start filling them out one by one. So first you want to share your background, context, and goal. So I would say, let's take an example here. Let's assume hypothetically that I am a productivity coach. So I would be typing down something like, I am a productivity coach and with 10 years of experience, I have served over 250 clients so far, and my ideal client is busy CEOs and entrepreneurs. Okay, I have a YouTube channel that I'm looking to grow for lead generation and client acquisition. Okay, so that's my primary goal. And then you want to talk a little bit more about your service. My program that I'm looking to sell via YouTube traffic is a high ticket coaching program that's 10K per client to help my client work on how to be more productive and get more done in a day without adding more. Okay, so that's pretty specific, right? Like I'm sharing my background, context, and goal here. Okay, so let's move on to the second part where you want to tell AI your criteria. So then you want to say, hey, I want you to help me create 5 underserved niche topics relevant to my offer above, the definition that I have. So you want to tell them very specifically. The definition I have is with high search interest right now on both Google and YouTube, but with limited supply of quality YouTube videos covering it right now. Also, I want this topic have strong traffic right now. You want the 5 underserved niche topics, right? That's number 1. And the second thing here is you want for each, this is the second requirement, for each niche topic, under each topic, please also suggest 5 specific video ideas that can rank. That is also meeting with what you told in terms of your criteria before, which is high search demand, low supply, and clearly searchable. And then the third requirement here is recommend the top 3 for among all of the video ideas suggested and explain why. Okay, so that's really everything you want to make sure you share in your prompt, and let's actually send it over to Grok and see what is going to be the output. All right, so now we're looking at Grok's answer here. As you can see, it did exactly what we asked it to do. It first suggested the 5 underserved niches on YouTube, right? So this is number 1, AI productivity tools for executives. And then the second one, burnout and delegation strategies for leaders, time management, and mindfulness techniques. Okay, so then under each niche, it then suggested 5 specific video ideas. And then towards the end, they also suggested the top 3 recommended. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I typically will literally copy and paste each of the niche idea, and I'll go straight to YouTube to cross-reference it, to validate it. Okay, let's say I've already done this research process and I have decided, hey, you know what? I like the second one the best, okay? I want to focus on this one as an underserved niche to test more videos about. So then I'm gonna look at the video ideas here, 7 signs of CEO burnout and how to prevent it before it hits. I'm gonna review all of them and pick one that I like the most, okay? That is gonna be my next video that I want to film about. So let's say I like this one. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna take this to the next step. All right, so let's move on to the second step. So here I want to show you how to use AI to generate guaranteed to work video titles. So again, we're going to walk through what, why, and how. Okay, so what here, it's very simple, right? You want AI to help you generate proven video ideas, actually not ideas, but video titles for the topic chosen, right? So from the previous step, we went through Grok and we reviewed all of its suggestions, and we found the underserved topic idea that we like the most, that we want to make a video about, right? So now we want to drop that idea, that raw idea, to another AI tool to get it to help us generate like really good, enticing video titles as part of the packaging. Now, why here? In addition to the very obvious reasons where it could just very significantly improve your efficiency, can do things faster, can give you better, higher quality output, you want to feed AI with proven structures or rather formulas of other high-performing videos that either went viral or got a ton of views. And you want to really look at their titles. You don't want to reinvent the wheel, just take currently already proven to work. So you want to take those video titles and ask AI to model them, to take your raw idea and transform it into one of those proven video title structure. So I'll show you how to do that in a bit, specifically with ChatGPT or Claude. Now, you might notice that we're not continuing this step with Grok. Now, Grok is very good with research-based tasks, but for anything that's more marketing heavy or more copywriting driven, like you actually need the AI tool to be able to help you come up with creative writing, usually ChatGPT or Claude is going to be better. So we're going to use one of those two, probably ChatGPT here, to help you automate this process. So now we're looking at ChatGPT 5 here. So in order to save a little bit of time, I've already put in most of the prompt here, but first you want to always give the AI your background, goal, and context, right? So I'm going to just take what I have already written down somewhere else and just paste it here just to save time. So here you're telling them who you are, you're a productivity coach, and your goal here, which is to grow your YouTube channel, to funnel it for YouTube organic traffic for client acquisition, right? And who is your ideal client avatar, and this is what you do, the focus of your work, all of that. Okay, so I've just pasted it here, and then I'm gonna tell ChatGPT the context of the request today, which is I've decided to film my next long-form YouTube video around this core idea here, and I pasted it from Grok, the topic I have just chosen. I need you to help me suggest more video titles under this topic from 3 different angles. So this is where I have done my homework. I've researched a lot of the high-performing videos in my niche and found that there are 3 proven angles to structure your title that seems to get a lot of views. So the first one here is you want to promise a very specific result or outcome in your title. Second one here is a curiosity-driven angle. So something to hint in your title to make people feel really curious that they feel compelled to click into the video to watch. And the third one here is your title has a contrarian take to what most people believing, right? Each angle, please suggest 10 videos so I can compare. Okay, so let's see what the output is. All right, so now looking at ChatGPT's answer, just going through and reviewing all of those titles very quick, right, under each angle. What you want to do here is you want to pick 2 to 3 different titles and you want to save it, okay? Because that's going to be the title you're going to use for your video once you publish it later. Now, the reason you want to keep 2 to 3 is because you want to have a few different choices to rotate through for your A/B testing. Let's say when you first publish the video in the first day and the performance, the data isn't great, for example, the click-through rate isn't great, then you're going to swap it after 24 hours into a different video title. So it's best to choose one for each angle here. So what I'm going to do here is, let's assuming I've went through everything, I actually really like this one. Why high achievers burn out faster and the hidden fix. Okay, so that's going to be my first video, and I'm going to choose a different title that essentially presents a completely different concept, right? So that's going to be better for A/B testing. Okay, so I like this one, okay? I'm going to paste it here and I'm going to save it somewhere. Now let's move on to the next step. So now we're looking at the last step here where we need to use AI to help you script out your entire video. So here's the guideline, okay? First, I want to show you some common structures to script out your video. Now, we're not going to take a lot of time and go through this in detail here because I actually have made another video that really goes through each one of those frameworks and give you examples in detail. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. I'm going to put the link over here. Now, essentially, there's 4 common structures. Storytelling, where you're really introducing a character and shows the key development and really essentially tell a story. Second one is you talk about the problem first and then introduce the solution. And the third one is myth busting or mistakes format, where you are really talking about the common misconceptions among your audience and try to educate them what's actually the correct way to go about doing things. The last one here is when you have a unique method or framework and you're teaching that and showing people how to apply that. Now, what we're going to do here, just to make our demo process a little bit easier to follow, is we're going to use actually a more common and a simpler structure, which is we're going to start with a hook, okay, which is essentially the intro part of your video, and then we're going to have the main body, and then we're going to have call to action to wrap it up. So main body here is where you are really showing the meat of the video, right? So whether you're talking about the steps, 4 steps to lose weight, you're breaking down the steps in detail, or you're talking about lessons from my 6 lessons to grow on YouTube, or if you're sharing any value, you would summarize all your value into specific actionable points for people to follow. So think about that as bullet points in your outline. So let's look at it in a specific example on ChatGPT here. All right, so we're in ChatGPT now. As you can see, I've already pasted the 2 chosen video topics that I liked, okay? And then what you want to do here is you want to think about, okay, for what kind of script, what specific content can I actually deliver in this video that would fit either title, right? Because remember, once you publish the video, if it looks like the data isn't great, for example, the click rate isn't high, you're going to have to A/B test and swap out the previous video title and replace it with the new one. So each title should be able to go with the script. So that's the underlying principle here. So you want to start thinking a little bit more about that. Any script that would fit one but not the other is definitely a no-go here. Okay, so let me paste the rest of the prompt here. The above is my video title. Let's just take the first one to script it, just for an example here. The above is my video title, Why High Achievers Burn Out Faster and the Hidden Fix. I need you to help me script out the entire video following this structure or outline. Hook, main body, CTA. Please script it out, the hook section right now. Okay, so here is what I want to mention, 2 points, very key. The first one here is what I would recommend is you don't ask ChatGPT. Of course, it can do it, it can do either way, but what's going to be better and will likely return you much better results is you don't ask ChatGPT to script out the entire video in one go for you, because typically the quality isn't as high as if you ask it to script out each section for you one by one. Okay, so you have a back and forth and more iterative iterative process where you ask ChatGPT to help you do the hook first, and then you look at the hook content, and if it doesn't look great, you ask it to change it, and then once it's done finalized, then you move on to scripting the main body section, and so on and so forth. So that typically gives you much higher quality output. Another thing I do want to mention here is you also want to feed AI with something before you ask it to script it. So you either feed AI with proven principles for that section scripting or specific content ideas. So I'll walk you through both. Okay, let's look at the first one. Proven principles for that section scripting. What does that mean? Specifically, let's take the hook section as an example. What you want to do here is you want to think about, okay, what are some of the key rules that I want my AI tool to work around and make sure it's adhering to that. Because remember, the more specific and higher quality of your input, the better the output it is, garbage in, garbage out. So an example here for hook section is, hey, I want you to script it based on this framework. Okay, so this would require you to have some knowledge and know what's currently working, what's best practice, and so on. So this framework is, I want it for you to meet expectations first, and then exceed expectation to drive excitement among my audience, right? Hook should not be longer than 60 seconds. So that's a very basic version. Of course, you can go in more depth and provide more details. It could be longer, but essentially what you're saying here is, hey, ChatGPT, like I have this proven structure. When I am talking about this video, like when people see this title and click into this video, they'll already go into this video with some sort of expectation, right? So they're thinking, hey, you're gonna tell me exactly what high achievers burn out faster and how do you actually turn that around, right? So that's to have that expectation. So I need you in the first 60 seconds to meet that expectations first so people don't bounce, and then give me 1 or 2 sentences that would actually exceed their expectations, maybe by promising something more surprising or something extra, a bonus. So they're actually more excited and they're gonna stay around, and you help me improve my retention of the video. And usually that's gonna give you a better result than you just give the AI tool free reins and just say, hey, do whatever. So that's the first thing. Or you can give it specific content ideas, right? So for example, in your main body, if you're walking through your audience 3 lessons or 3 steps to recover from burnout, like maybe you can think about what are gonna be the 3 ideas or the 3 steps I'm gonna share with them. So if you can feed your AI with specific ideas that are original, that are value added, that's gonna be better than asking Chat to come up with something random. All right, so there you have it. The foundation to use AI to help you come up with the right YouTube video ideas, figuring out the titles, and scripting out the full video. Now, I've made another free series here that you can check out in more detail to show you how to automate the other aspects of marketing for your business as well, such as how to automate your social media post, how to automate the content writing part for your email broadcast. And if you like today's content, please hit subscribe, as on this channel, we talk about how to use AI in a smart way to automate your social media marketing to get better business results. I'll see you in the next video.